Let me ask you something. If English is so important, why do millions of learners still fail after years of study? The answer might shock you. It's not because you're not smart. It's because you never learned how to bring English into your daily life. And today, I'll show you exactly how. Hello, and welcome back to Best English Podcast. I'm Sarah, your host, and I'm glad you're here. Now, it means you want more than grammar books. You want confidence. You want freedom. You want English to feel natural, like breathing. And that desire is powerful. Imagine this. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, you open a short English story and read it out loud. Just 5 minutes. Suddenly, your mind feels sharper, your voice stronger, your day completely different. That's the transformation we'll explore today. Now, you might be thinking, but Sarah, I don't have time. My life is already busy. That's exactly why building English into your daily routine works. You don't need extra hours, you just need to swap habits. For example, instead of scrolling social media before bed, spend 5 minutes with an English story. Instead of silent coffee in the morning, read one page out loud. And here's the secret. It's not about how much you study, it's about how often. Daily repetition creates rhythm, and rhythm creates fluency. And speaking of rhythm, let's talk about your voice. Because reading aloud is one of the most powerful daily habits you can start right now. And here's why your voice matters. When you read aloud in English, you're not just pronouncing words. You're building a deep connection between your mind, your ears, and your mouth. It's like building muscle memory. Every sound you say out loud becomes a little stronger inside your brain. Think of it like this. When you only read silently, English lives only in your head. But when you read aloud, English also lives in your body. Your tongue remembers, your lips remember, even your breathing starts to adjust to the rhythm of the language. That's why speaking feels so much easier once you've practiced reading aloud. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. Maybe you stumble over words, maybe you hear yourself and think, "Oh no, my accent is too strong." But let me tell you something important. Every single fluent speaker you admire went through that same stage. The difference is, they kept going. They didn't stop because it felt strange. They let their mistakes be the training ground for progress. And you don't need to carve out extra hours to do this. Imagine this. You're making breakfast. Instead of scrolling your phone, you pick up a short English article and read it out loud. Relaxed. You're on the bus. Read along with your favorite podcast transcript. You're walking to work and you quietly repeat English sentences under your breath, letting your mouth practice while your body moves. Suddenly, English is no longer a study subject. It becomes your soundtrack, your rhythm, the background music of your daily life. And here's the magic. The more you hear your own voice speaking English, the more natural it feels. Confidence grows. Sentences roll off your tongue without you forcing them. You stop translating word by word, and instead, English flows. And once English starts to flow from your mouth, the next natural step is to bring it onto the page, because writing is the mirror that shows you what you really know and what you still need to practice. And once English starts to flow from your mouth, the next natural step is to bring it onto the page, because writing is the mirror that shows you what you really know and what you still need to practice. Here's the truth. Most learners avoid writing because it feels slow or academic. But in daily life, writing is your shortcut to clear thinking and faster speaking. When you write, you don't just remember words, you organize them. You shape your thoughts in English, and that makes speaking later feel effortless. So, let me show you a system you can actually stick to. Not a heavy diary, not long essays, but a simple, repeatable practice that takes just 60 seconds a day. Start with the one-line journal. Every evening, write one sentence in English about your day. For example, "Today I cooked pasta and it tasted amazing." That's it. Just one honest sentence. Once that feels natural, level it up into the 3-word memory hook. Write 3 English words that capture the most important parts of your day, like bus, rain, late. Then use those 3 words to rebuild the memory in English. This is powerful because it forces your brain to connect words with real experiences. And if you want to take it even further, try the message to a friend trick. Imagine you're texting a friend in English. Write that text in your notebook. Keep it short, casual, natural. Over time, these messages become real conversations when you actually meet people. Notice the pattern? None of this feels like school writing. These are real daily life sentences that reflect your world, the kind of English that sticks, because it belongs to you. Because writing is not schoolwork. Writing is where your English meets your thoughts. It shows you what you really know and where the gaps are. Most learners avoid it. They say it feels slow, boring, too academic. But in daily life, writing is the shortcut to clear thinking and faster speaking. When you write, you don't just remember words, you organize them. You shape your thoughts in English, and that makes speaking later feel effortless. So, let me give you a system that works. Not essays, not homework, just tiny, powerful writing habits you can keep for life. The one-line journal. At night, write one simple sentence about your day. I met my friend. We laughed a lot. Done. Quick, honest, effective. The 3-word memory hook. Pick 3 words that capture your day. Coffee, bus, late. Then rebuild your memory in English around them. This forces your brain to connect language with life. Let's be honest, this is the scariest step for most learners. Writing feels safe, reading feels safe, but when it's time to speak, suddenly your mind goes blank. That's not because you're bad at English. It's because your brain hasn't practiced retrieving words under pressure, and pressure is where fluency lives. So, how do we fix that? By creating tiny speaking challenges that feel like games, not exams. The 30-second talk. Pick one object near you, a cup, your phone, your shoes. Speak about it in English for 30 seconds, non-stop. No judging, no pausing, just let words flow. The switch word hack. Next time you're speaking your native language, slip in one English word. I'm going to the bazaar. Later I'll buy some bread. Oh, and milk. This small switch trains your brain to blend English naturally. The echo trick. Watch a short clip, maybe from Netflix, YouTube, or even TikTok. Pause, repeat the line out loud, mimicking tone and rhythm. You're not just copying words, you're training your mouth like a singer trains with music. And here's the secret. Speaking isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up, daily, in small ways, so when the big conversation comes, your brain says, I've done this before. I can do it again. So far, we've spoken about speaking, reading, and writing. But let me tell you something. Your ears are your secret weapon. Listening is how babies learn their first language, and it's how you'll make English feel like part of your daily rhythm. The mistake most learners make is turning every listening moment into study mode. They put on a podcast, pause every 5 seconds, and feel guilty if they don't understand every single word. But here's the truth: real fluency doesn't grow in pressure, it grows in exposure. Imagine this: you're cooking breakfast, and an English podcast is playing in the background. You don't need to understand 100%. You just need to let the rhythm of English, the tone, the melody, wash over you. Later, maybe on your commute, you play an English YouTube video. You catch a phrase here, a new word there. That's enough. Each of these moments is like planting tiny seeds in your brain, seeds that grow without you even noticing. Think of your favorite song in another language. You didn't sit down to study it. You just heard it again and again until one day, without effort, you could sing along. That's what daily listening does for English. So here's your challenge. Pick one source of English audio you actually enjoy, maybe this very podcast, and play it every single day. Don't force yourself to study. Just listen while you live your life. And then 1 month, you'll notice something powerful. The words won't sound foreign anymore. They'll feel familiar, almost like friends you've known for a while. And here's where the magic happens. Once you're listening daily, you'll notice a spark. You'll want to respond, to join in, to use those phrases out loud. And that brings us to the next step: turning passive listening into active speaking. Now, here's the secret no one tells you. Listening alone won't make you fluent. It will give you comfort, rhythm, and vocabulary, but if you don't activate it, those words will just float around in your brain, unused. So, how do you flip the switch? Simple: the shadowing technique. The next time you're listening to an English podcast, don't just let it play. Repeat after it. Even if you only catch one sentence, say it out loud. Don't worry about perfect pronunciation. Don't pause or rewind too much. Just let your mouth move with the sound. Imagine you're walking to the bus and you hear, "I don't have time right now, but maybe later." Instead of just listening, you whisper it back. "I don't have time right now, but maybe later." Do this 2 or 3 times and suddenly it's not just a phrase you heard, it's a phrase you own. And here's the best part. Once your brain hears you using these phrases, it creates a shortcut. The next time you need them in real life, they'll jump out without hesitation. That's how passive listening transforms into fluent speaking. Try this for just 1 week. Shadow for 5 minutes a day, no more. You'll be shocked how quickly your tongue stops freezing when you want to speak. But wait, what happens when you're not listening to English? How do you keep practicing, even in silence, even when no one's around? That's where the inner voice method comes in. All right, let's talk about something powerful, something most learners ignore. Your inner voice. Think about it. All day long, you're talking to yourself in your native language, reminding yourself, planning, worrying, imagining. That voice is constant. But what if, little by little, you began training that inner voice to speak in English? For example, you're about to make tea. Instead of just doing it, you narrate to yourself, "I'm boiling the water. I'll grab the tea bag. Just a minute more." Or maybe you're walking outside and you think, "It's colder than yesterday. I should wear a scarf tomorrow." This is not studying. This is living in English, even when you're silent. The beauty is, you don't need a teacher, a partner, or an app. Just you and your thoughts. At first, it feels slow, but then something magical happens. Your inner voice starts answering back in English without effort. That's the moment you know your brain is rewiring itself for fluency. Now, of course, thoughts are invisible. No one hears them but you. But what if we take it one step further and start externalizing those thoughts in small, safe bursts so your brain gets used to hearing your own English out loud? That's where the next step comes in. Okay, this is the bridge between thinking in English and actually speaking it. I call it micro-speaking bursts. Here's the mistake most learners make. They wait for the perfect conversation, the perfect sentence, or a long practice session. But real fluency grows in tiny bursts. 10 seconds here, 20 seconds there. Moments so small, you can't possibly skip them. You're making breakfast? As you flip the eggs, just say, "I'm cooking eggs. They smell good. I'll eat in 2 minutes." Done. You've just spoken English. Or maybe you're waiting for the elevator. "It's taking too long. I'll use the stairs." Boom. Another burst. No pressure, no judgment. These little moments train your mouth, your brain, and your confidence. And the beauty? Over weeks, these bursts add up to hours of natural speaking time without ever scheduling practice. Here's the secret. Consistency beats intensity. One microburst a day is better than one big practice session you never keep. But wait, if you're speaking in bursts, how do you make sure those words don't just fade away? How do you lock them into memory so they actually stick? All right, this is the glue that makes everything we've talked about stick. Because speaking bursts are great, writing helps, listening shapes your ear. But if your memory keeps dropping words, fluency slips away. So let's fix that with what I call the memory hook technique. The human brain doesn't remember random words, it remembers hooks. Pictures, emotions, small stories. For example, let's take the word umbrella. If you just repeat it 10 times, you'll forget it tomorrow. But if you picture yourself running in the rain, holding a broken umbrella while your coffee spills, boom, that's a hook. Your brain won't let it go. So here's the system. Every time you meet a new word in daily life, don't just repeat it. Attach a hook. A funny image, a little story, an emotion. Say it out loud once, write it once, and tie it to something real. That's how you turn vocabulary into long-term fluency fuel. Do this for just 3 words a day. Not 30, not 100. 3 words, hooked to something real. In a year, that's 1,000 new words that stay with you forever. So here's the big picture. If you listen daily, write lightly, speak in bursts, and hook your words to real life, English stops being study. It becomes your life. And when language is life, fluency is no longer a dream. It's your reality. This has been the Best English Podcast. And I'm Sarah, so proud to share this journey with you. Now it's your turn. Go live your daily life in English.